It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so real interesting stuff that surfaced a couple days ago. I didn't get a chance to talk about it then, so I'm going to talk about it now. Really, I just wanted to break down this picture for you guys. Just kind of give you my thoughts and give you guys the big picture with this. So let's make it full screen, right? So let's break it down. So that picture right there, all right? So you got, right here you got Daniel Jacobs. To the right you got Edgar Berlanga. And right smack dab in the middle you got the esteemed and very influential manager Keith Conley. I got a lot of respect for Keith Conley. He's a great manager. And I know he's Edgar Berlanga's manager. I believe he's also Daniel Jacobs' manager. And they're at a New York Knicks game facing off, and it looks like, it could just be a picture for just a show. But it could also be maybe a potential fight. Now, would Keith Conley want to make a fight between two of his clients? I mean, generally speaking, I know managers don't like to make fights between two of their own clients. They like to, fight other people so that they can have one client win and the other client win, and they can, be on two different paths and collect two different checks and whatnot. And if one, most of the time managers don't like to make fights between two of their own fighters. That's just how it goes. Now, promoters is different, but managers, they don't like doing that. This fight, let's just assume that this is a potential fight in the works, and it might be happening. Well, Daniel Jacobs hasn't fought since February 2022 when he lost to John Ryder. And Edgar Berlanga just came off his first stoppage in almost 4 years against Patrick McCrory. This fight, I think, would be a good event in New York. I think, Berlanga has a good fan base. He sells tickets. Jacobs is a known commodity in boxing. He's fought Canelo. He's fought, a whole host of guys. People know who the Miracle Man is in the boxing world. So you put those two, they could fight at the theater at Madison Square Garden. I think it would sell out easily. And it would do good business. I really do think that. And it's a fight for Berlanga where you can fight a guy who we know isn't at his best anymore, but he has that name value. So by Berlanga, if he was able to fight a guy like Jacobs and beat him, then you go ahead and you get him on your resume, and that does in turn raises your stock, raises your profile in the sport, right? So that being said, I also see this, all right, because let's just assume, and I want to also make this video a bit of a two-parter, right? Because Berlanga was asked in plain English recently after his Patrick McCrory win at the press conference. He was asked in plain English, if you can't get the Canelo fight, if you can't get the big fights, would you fight Dave Morrell Jr.? And to that, Berlanga shot it down and said, no, we're only looking for the biggest fights and the biggest events and this, that, and the third. And funny enough, right, Berlanga is the number one contender in the WBA. He's number one. Dan Morrell is the WBA regular champion. So basically, he's the secondary champion pretty much. So if there was ever a fight that Berlanga could get, it is David Morrell Jr. But he's shooting that down, and we're seeing Berlanga do face-off pictures with Daniel Jacobs at the New York Knicks game, which are circulating all these rumors that they might be fighting next. Now, it could all just been, maybe they're cool. I'm pretty sure maybe they're friends, and maybe they have a mutual respect, and it could just be a picture, like just a picture. There could really even be nothing to it at all. But as far as Edgar Berlanga is concerned, the way I see it, he's gonna have to step up and fight somebody soon, because look, you're basically in line to fight David Morrell Jr. You're very closely ranked to Christian and Billy, who I think that would be a good fight for Berlanga. If you look at the WBO rankings, you're like a couple spots away from Diego Pacheco. So you got Pacheco, and Billy, you got Vladimir Shishkin. There's fights out there for Berlanga to be had. And if there is any truth to him fighting Daniel Jacobs, then what a cherry pick. I look at it as a cherry pick. Jacobs hasn't fought for 2 years. Jacobs hasn't fought for 2 years. Jacobs hasn't officially or formally announced retirement, but in my mind, he's pretty much retired. He's not boxing, right? So, what gives? You fight Morrell. I feel like Berlanga is and Keith Conley is a smart guy. He's a great manager. He didn't get to where he got to as a manager in boxing by accident. He got there by making smart, shrewd, tactful business decisions that are the best for his clients and the best for, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, his own pockets. They know that if Canelo gets past Munguia, there's a big percentage chance that Canelo winds up fighting them. It's possible. This Munguia fight's only a 1-fight deal. So while Al Haymon could always drop another contract and keep with PBC, there is still that working relationship with Eddie Hearn and Canelo. If he really wants the fights, he's in a position where if he really wants the fights in boxing, he gets them. That's really the nature of his career. So what better way for Berlanga to throw his name in the Canelo hat than to fight a Canelo opponent like Daniel Jacobs? I wouldn't put it past Keith Conley to do the fight. Jacobs could get one last big payday. It could be a big event in New York. It would raise Berlanga's stock if he can win against a fellow Canelo opponent. And then the stage could be set. So make of it what you will. But that's the news. Edgar Berlanga and Daniel Jacobs facing off at the Knicks game, flanked by Keith Conley in the middle of the picture. Really interesting stuff. And I really wish he would just fight Dave Morrell Jr., but obviously we know this is a business. The business don't make sense for Morrell, off a Morrell fight, but you're number one in the rankings. You're number one in the WBA rankings. He's the regular champion. You're not going to get Canelo fight next. He's fighting Munguia. So why not test yourself against one of the best? And even if it wasn't Morrell, I would like Pacheco. I like a lot of people out there think that Pacheco could beat Berlanga. And I know I'm talking to Berlanga's people like what's his name? Mark Ferre, when I interviewed him, I know that they're very confident in Edgar Berlanga beating a guy like Diego Pacheco. They feel like he's too big, too strong for him. So why not test that out? But nonetheless, that's the news. Edgar Berlanga and Daniel Jacobs doing face-off pictures at the Knicks game, stirring the pot up, getting people to think that they might fight each other, which to me, I just think it makes sense. I could see why Edgar would do it, but it's not a fight I'm interested in. But what do you guys think? What say you guys? What do you guys think about Berlanga versus Daniel Jacobs at 168, despite the fact that Jacobs ain't fought since, February 2022? So what would that be now? That's 26 months he hasn't fought? So make of that what you will. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canastota, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.